Yes, it is nighttime. Yes, I'm wearing sunglasses. Why? Because I've cried the entire day. Why, you might ask? Oh, I don't know. Lewis is leaving Mercedes, Carlos is leaving Ferrari, Zhou Guanyu and Valtteri Bottas are out of seats, K-Mag is leaving, okay? Carlos is going to Williams, and I have mental trauma I need to overcome in the next couple of months because of that. So yes, that is why I'm wearing sunglasses. Otherwise, I look like a hot, crazy mess. So let's break down the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Before we start, we have to address the elephant in the room. And no, I'm not talking about someone. The Piastri and Max Verstappen
Just an incident.
on turn 1. That was something. Now, for those of you who don't know, who do not watch the race, who do not wake up at 5 in the morning like me, like a crazy person, here's essentially what happened. We go into turn 1, Piastri's P2, Max Verstappen is P4. He gets a great start. He overtakes Sainz on the straight heading into turn 1. Going into turn 1, Piastri's a little bit ahead. Max Verstappen's going on the inside of the turn. There's not a lot of space to go like this. They spin out, and they're like almost dead last. That ruins Piastri's race. Not so much Max Verstappen's, because Max Verstappen's able to like spin out, get on track. Piastri's like spun out off all the way dead last. And then he has to make up place for it. Now, I would say, let me add a video of it. Let me add a picture of it. But I don't want to get copyright struck because I posted a video of a Carlos post-race interview that got copyrighted for God knows whatever reason. So I'm not going to add any race clips. But I will add a picture of the radio message if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I will. That was the main incident going into turn 1. Carlos Sainz jumps to P2 Leclerc, starting P19. He had a horrible qualifying, but we won't talk about that. We'll only talk about the race, the real shit. I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that. But 19 to 8. Pretty good. Not pretty good. Really good. That was crazy good on Leclerc's part. I mean, just phenomenal race. Like, go off king, I guess. Other notable incidents that happened. Obviously, Max Verstappen got a 10-second penalty for the incident. Oh my god, wait. But yes, so after that incident happened, not a lot of, and not anything of worth really happened. So I won't bore you to the turn-to-turn scenarios, because, like, who gives a damn? Kevin Magnussen overtook Fernando Alonso. Oh my god, like, no, like, we do not care. We do not give a damn. So here's what happens. After a little bit of a recovery drive from Oscar Piastri, he hits Colapinto. He gets a 10-second penalty as well. And later on in the race, it is revealed that Colapinto, because of whatever internal... First of all, his team message in the beginning of the race, he was crying and he was like, thank you so much. This is a dream come true. And not even 7 laps and his power unit gives away and he has to retire the car. His last race, potentially in Formula 1, he has to retire the car. I feel so sad for him. I mean, truly, the unluckiness he has had in these past 2 races, it's like the ghost of Charles Leclerc's curse just decided to go into him for some reason. I mean, damn. Yeah, he got so unlucky and I feel so sad for him. Speaking of unlucky, Valtteri Bottas, oh, Sergio Perez, how can I forget? Shout out to Lai. If you ever see this, probably not. But damn, for those of you who don't know what happened to poor Sergio Perez, here's essentially what happened. Sergio Perez started P10, he was going in, Valtteri Bottas was 9. During one of the chicanes, in a chicane, like multiple turns at once, I forget what turn exactly, he hits Sergio Perez, which causes his car to be undrivable and stop working, like DNF. And I was like, damn. And I mean, there are already rumors of him potentially leaving his seat and like yada 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 yada. And on top of that, he's not able to finish this race. I'm like, wow. Again, the ghost of Charles Leclerc has been haunting. Charles Leclerc's curse decided to multiply and haunt Colapinto and um and Perez. They decided, you know what? F them hoes. Let me go attack them. Let me give them bad luck. And I'm like, listen, I'm not a Perez fan, but I'm not a Perez hater. I feel so bad for him because he has been getting so unlucky. The car is just so bad. And I'm not even going to get into the whole discussion. Like, oh my God, Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is Max Verstappen. Okay. That car is ass. Ass. And Colapinto, the car is ass. Which is why I've been crying, because Carlos Sainz is going to drive that car next year. Anywho, I digress. Anywho, he DNFs. Soon after, Kevin Magnussen hits. So Valtteri Bottas, his car, he's driving it, and K-Mag is behind, and for some reason on the turn, he locks up and he just like slammed. Like, by slam, I mean like full on hit Valtteri Bottas's car, so much so that the right wheel just like slanted itself like to the side so badly. His steering wheel was broken, his right tire was broken, the side of his car was broken. It was bad. And unfortunately, he also had to retire from the race. And near the end, Liam Lawson suffered a similar fate. Not an accident, but something, I think it was some issue with the power unit as well. He spun out and he had to take the car off track. He couldn't drive it anymore. Other notable incidents, there was nothing of sort. I mean, Lewis Hamilton had a phenomenal drive. He started P16. He came all the way up to P4. Not able to make the podium, but I'm honestly glad because we got a Carlos and Carlando podium. Lando Norris obviously winning the race, followed by Carlos Sainz, 7 seconds behind, followed by Charles Leclerc, who was another 20 seconds behind. Soon followed by Lewis Hamilton, followed by Lewis Hamilton followed by Lewis Hamilton, followed by George Russell, and I think it was Max Verstappen. But yeah, as a Carlos fan, I'm glad he got P2. I'm going to be honest, one of his last podiums for a while at least. So I'm glad he got at least P2, but if I'm being honest, had Ferrari not screwed up the strategy, I think they could have taken that race lead from Lando Norris. Ferrari just did not make the experimental calls that they needed to. Yes, I understand that getting Leclerc on that podium was important, but at the same time, if experimenting with Leclerc and experimenting with Sainz and making sure that they at least get P3, at least Sainz gets P3, and to do something to shake McLaren, they should have done that, but their dumbasses were like, no, let me just not do anything and just pit normally. Listen, I shit on Ferrari's clownfoolery, but this is some other shit. Like, what? Like, what? Anyway, I digress. That was so stupid. But, I mean, it was a stretch to begin with, but phenomenal job by Lando Norris. Obviously, he didn't have Oscar Piastri to protect and peel for him, so he really took that lead and booked it as he should. Phenomenal drive. He did absolutely phenomenal. He controlled the pace of the race. He had enough of a gap that he could pit without being under threat by Sainz to undercut him. Just overall phenomenal drive. McLaren won in the Constructors' Cup. The first time in 26 years, Lando Norris was not even conceived. Yeah, no, he wasn't even conceived. Oscar Piastri wasn't even born. I don't even know if his parents were together when the last time McLaren won. But they both had a phenomenal season and they got that P1 for the Constructors' Cup. Ferrari, unfortunately, 14 points behind. Obviously, I'm very distraught because, if Carlos had left with a Constructors' Trophy, that would have just been absolutely amazing. And an amazing end. But still, P2, the best season he's ever had. His last race with Ferrari being a podium. So happy. But also really sad at the same time because he's going to Williams. But we'll save that discussion for another day. Obviously, Alpine had a pretty good drive, and Gasly had a pretty good drive. I'm going to be honest, Jack Doohan was there. Honestly, not much. Like, he didn't leave an impression on me. I mean, like, Zhou Guanyu did better than him. Like, he outperformed him. He overtook him. There was, in that battles, he had an advantage. Speaking of battles, Yuki Tsunoda, granted he didn't get points, but the battles he had, him and Pierre, him and Piastri, him and Alonso, those were amazing battles. And I'm like, Yuki deserves that red. If Checo is going, Yuki deserves that seat. He has dominated any person he's been put against, and he has done so good overtaking people. Someone overtakes him, he quickly overtakes him, making those technical calls. He is so underrated, and I still believe that Yuki is underrated, but I was like, yeah, but like not by that much. But seeing this race today, I'm like, whoa. If Yuki's in a good car, he can actually cook. But yeah, other than that, obviously it was very emotional for Lewis Hamilton. He did donuts after the race. Zhou Guanyu did donuts after the race. And just to sort of see Garage 55 practically crying that Carlos was leaving. Carlos crying because he was leaving. Leclerc being sad that he was leaving. Lando being sad that Carlos is not going to be in a top team. I think the entire grid knows that Carlos truly deserves a top team and a top drive. It's just unfortunate the hand that he's been dealt, and he's just going to have to make the most of the shitty situation that he's found himself in. But, I think the setup for 25 is amazing. This will be my final race debrief for the season of 2024. Hope to catch you in 2025, and I will continue to post more F1 and F1 adjacent content in the meantime. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are still here, thank you so much. And leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Peace.